Well, here I am on a somewhat rainy Friday in April, and I'm really glad to have been invited into Bob Tiley's home. And Tiley. Made a mistake already. I normally call you Tiley. Why did I do that? It's because of the microphone. Bob, if you want to give your date of birth, please do so.
Yes, 5th of January 1943.
Thank you, sir. And I've got a series of questions here, and by all means wander from the point if you wish to do so. So your first connection to Rodborough, maybe that you were born here, I don't know, so over to you.
No, well, my first connection with Rodborough was in the late 1940s when my grandparents on my mother's side lived in Froome Park Road. We were then living in Ebley, and we used to come up quite regularly, obviously to visit our grandparents. My sister and I used to go into the top bedroom and look into Froome Park, and they used to play football on motorbikes.
Oh, really?
In those days. So that was my first memories of Rodborough. And then about the same sort of time, they held Stroud Show at Froome Park. I can't remember why it moved from Stratford Park at that period of time, but I do remember it because I was fortunate to win first prize in the fancy dress as a farmer's boy.
Oh, right.
with our sheepdog. My sister came second in her class as little Bo Peep. So that's my first recollections of Rodborough. But basically, from a living point of view, I came here to live in my present house here at Castlemead Road in 1967. In fact, the Bank Holiday Saturday, the May Bank Holiday Saturday of 1967. So I've been here for some 42 years.
So you were one of the first residents along here?
No, the houses were built in the early 60s. My mother lived here before me, so she took it on from new. It was about 1964-65, and then when she moved to a smaller property, I bought it and moved in. So the wife and I had been here ever since.
I'm just going to ask about one tragic story which people think was 1967, and it was the dreadful fire in the barn. Were you here then? Or?
Yes, indeed. It was tragic. There were three boys from memory, and I was working in McIlroy's in Stroud at the time, and I used to come home for lunch, and looking out the kitchen windows suddenly saw smoke going up. Anyway, so I thought, oh, what's going on down there? Better go and went and had a look. Went down and had a look, and the young lad came running out to say his brothers were in there. But to be honest, we just couldn't get in. It was just a blaze, and understand that they used matches, and of course they used to keep straw or hay in the barn, and there was obviously somehow caught fire, and they were trapped in there. Really great tragedy for two young people to have been lost like that in the parish.
It obviously cast a pall over the area for a while, but talking to Mrs. Baker and Nestor, great traditions of street parties along here, the Jubilee and so on. Are there any memories of those? Oh
yes, back in 1970, 77, Silver Jubilee. I thought nothing had actually been done to celebrate it, and I formulated a small committee under the chairmanship of the Reverend Audrey of Thomas the Tank fame, and we then organised basically the first Rodborough Fete, which has continued on each year since. This then incorporated street parties here, and all the roads were left to their own street parties. It wasn't anything that the Jubilee Committee actually organised, but from the committee, and having the first one, which was held at Froome Park, all the street part, everybody got enthusiastic, and so each road had their own street party, basically.
So the you were partly responsible for the recreation of the yearly fete and so on, bringing it.
Oh yeah, because at the time I just joined the Stroud District Council, and that was one of the things that I got involved with. My first involvement in anything in Rodborough, as I say, I came here in May of '67, and shortly after we moved in, there was a small post office opposite the Prince Albert. And the county council wanted to knock that down, and there was a public meeting, and I went to the public meeting with my late wife, just to listen to see what was going on. And somebody there who knew my mother then proposed that I go on the Residents Association committee. Well, you sort of got some. Well, yeah, all right then. Don't know what this involves, but yes, we'll give it a go. And that was then under the chairmanship of Reverend John Lamin from Rodborough Tabernacle Church, who was a great fellow, could spin a good yarn, and so I spent many years doing 9 to 10 years doing that, and I used to go then down to this. What was then Stroud Town Committee meetings, and to see what was going on in Rob.